When it comes to Top, just like everybody in Dragon Ball Super events, there's two versions of the same character. I'm going to be going over both in this video because they have a lot of similarities, but they got some differences. For example, in the anime, Top has a God of Destruction form. In the manga, we don't necessarily see that, but both versions are Super Saiyan Blue level. If you're unfamiliar with Super Saiyan Blue, just stick around in this video. You're going to see what I'm talking about, but he's still ridiculously strong no matter which version. No point in really distinguishing between the two. He's a character that lacks feet anyway. You know what I mean? The Dragon Ball universe, or one could say the multiverse. It's a universe or multiverse that has a whole bunch of different type of species and stuff of that such. A great example being beings like gods of destruction. That there's one god of destruction in every universe, for example. Like, guys, we already know about the universe in which Goku and company reside. You know, our favorite main characters in Dragon Ball, this is where our favorite characters reside. But you guys remember Jiren, an overpowered being of another universe. Oh, by the way, there's like this group of Pride Troopers that Jiren's a part of, and there's other strong beings other than Jiren, like Top, I want to go over in this video. Let's get it. The interesting part is that just because they was the antagonist of the arc, that they're not necessarily bad people, it's just everybody's fighting for survival and stuff of that such. So this Pride Trooper group, one can say they're like superheroes. They're very cool people. They believe in justice and helping people out. Stuff like that is evident by how they're all wearing uniforms like a league. You know what I mean? It's literally stated here on how he's worried about the civilians. So the Pride Troopers are cool people. Let's analyze how strong he is. Just like most characters in Dragon Ball, he has incredible super strength, so that means he can punch really hard, withstand attacks even from Super Saiyan tiers, and of course he can use his inner chi or inner ki to produce energy projective type of blasts and stuff. His chi or energy projective type of attacks are unique looking, like shooting a blast from individual fingers at the same time. This is something that he often does to like do rapid fire. As you can already tell, he doesn't look like he's a human being, obviously, and it seems that his race has some special attributes that others don't, like him having ridiculously large hands, for example. He incorporates this into his fighting style and kind of has wrestling type grabbles and stuff, and he's not afraid to grapple. Look at the beings he can hurt with his grapple, Super Saiyan tiers. So his grappling is quite crazy, and you can just get a little glimpses of his strength before I even start going over his strength in the video, even doing this to Super Saiyans, making them yell. As you know, in Dragon Ball, there's a multiverse, there's different universes. Each universe has their one angel over it, and they have their god of destruction. For example, you see this god of destruction that looks similar to Joker from DC Comics, for example. Well, this is interesting because he is the god of destruction, but the cool thing about Top is that despite him not being as strong as beings like Jiren, who's somebody that's probably even closer to being a god of destruction, despite Jiren being stronger than him, Top is actually a candidate for being a god of destruction, and thus knows god of destruction type techniques. It's even stated here in the manga version that he's a candidate of God of Destruction. He can't sense his power. That's the reason he can't sense his power, because there's a theme in his universe. If you can't sense somebody's power level, they have divine power. That's the same for Top. I mean, in this occasion fighting Blue Vegeta, which I'm going to get to later on in the vid, it's stated he's a God of Destruction candidate. It's even stated here by his own God of Destruction, the clown-looking God of Destruction, that he needs to retire and he's looking for a replacement. Let me stop. He has this transformation. Like, of course, you got his base form where he looks like this, which is ridiculously strong, which you're going to see in this video. But he has his own God of Destruction form where his appearance drastically changes, his aura changes, and he gets a new set of type of techniques. One example of one of his new techniques is this technique known as Hakai, a technique you only see destroyers do, like Beerus, for example, one of the main character destroyers of the main universe. It destroys a being to the point where they don't even go to the afterlife. They literally go from, they blink out of existence. Since he's only a candidate, his technique might not be as potent as an actual God of Destruction, but this is something to put in consideration. This technique, he still knows it. People can shoot blasts, like Frieza, for example, shooting a blast at Top, and Top simply uses a small little energy projective type of destroyer technique. Despite the blast being way bigger than his, it doesn't really matter about the size. Top's blast can erase Frieza's blast. But I'll get into this more later on in the video. Let's go back to his base form. His base form's already plenty strong anyway. Well, the best way to understand how strong he is to compare him to the characters we've seen him fight in the series, because he's not a main character. He doesn't have that much screen time, but the screen time he does have is heavy. Like, you got occasions like this, them doing superhero stuff, saving these people from this giant mean creature. Top can blast big things that are building size arms off with his blast power. We know Goku has gotten stronger over the years, has gotten different forms that stack on top of his already increasing strength, and each form that he gets is astronomically stronger than the previous form. For example, even back in the day, back in his early days before he even had transformations, he still had enough blast power to beam stroke with beams that can destroy the Earth. You know, in Dragon Ball, if you watch it, you know Dragon Ball Z, planet destroying is like literally light work at this point. I'm talking about characters back in the day just powering up, like Vegeta shaking the planet. Trust me, this stuff is relevant because Top actually fights these same beings, Goku and Vegeta, of course, in the Tournament of Power, way later on in their career. If they can do this back in the day, imagine the versions of Goku and Vegeta Top was fighting. You see what I mean? Like he was literally going to blast the planet apart here. So blasting away planets, at least Earth-sized planets, that was a thing back in the day. You can't really say this statement is an exaggeration because even previous beings that are weaker than Vegeta at this point in time, like Master Roshi, for example, had to blast away the entirety of the moon. Yeah, it's kind of a common theme to blow away moons and planetoids in Dragon Ball, even back in these earlier days. Beings that are weaker than Vegeta and stuff back in these days. So it's pretty obvious that even like without even trying, Top has the raw power to devastate a planet, right? When it comes to how hard this guy can hit, we know Dragon Ball characters can hit as hard as they can blast. He can parry, react, withstand attacks from Super Saiyans, even later arc Super Saiyans like Goku, for example. And he actually treats Super Saiyan like a joke, actually, which pretty much proves he's hundreds or even thousands of times past planet sharding level, because beings way back in the day can destroy planets. They've got multipliers that multiply their strength by hundreds of times and stuff. So comparing to him to Goku's transformation, that's a good way to scale him, I would say, when it comes to the hierarchy. Now, what about his other Super Saiyan forms like Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3? You got to remember the stuff that Super Saiyan 2 has done in the past. Like, a great example is his son at the time that was the first Super Saiyan 2. This is a good way to gauge how strong Super Saiyan 2s are, because it's being known as Cell, who was kind of somewhat in the range of Super Saiyan 2, somewhat. Well, at least on the Android saga Super Saiyan 2. He's a being that can also destroy the Earth, duh. But he even actually took it a bit farther, saying, man, forget destroying the Earth. I have enough chi to destroy the entire solar system. If we haven't seen him destroy planets in the past and they've gotten stronger since then, this seems like this would be an exaggeration, but it kind of adds up with the lore and writer intent. Just them charging up to attack the Earth is shaking. I mean, this kind of just adds up with the Dragon Ball stuff lore. This makes Top incredible because we've seen Top fight Goku in similar forms like this. In this occasion, when Goku was in these regular Super Saiyan forms, he calls Goku's attacks in this state little. Take this seriously. Goku goes Super Saiyan 2. This is a 10 years later Goku. So this version of a Super Saiyan 2 is even crazier than the one that can blow away a solar system, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. I mean, he can quite casually slugfest with Super Saiyan 2 tears without really going all out, really. As you can see here, his punches have Super Saiyan 2 tears on the ropes. One could say even overpowering him. It's not until Goku had to power up to a higher form to get him off of him. And then he even goes to a form known as Super Saiyan 3. And guess what? Top is still too fast and too strong for this mode. To let you know how strong Top is. Because he punched him like this and was overwhelming him, proving his punching power. Yeah, overwhelming a Super Saiyan 3. In the manga version, of course. So just even slugfesting with a Super Saiyan 3, and when we know what a Super Saiyan 2 in the past could do, already confirms as a bare minimum, he could punch or blast with solar system devastating force. I mean, blasting away multiple planets at this point would be easy to him. Even the star of the solar system, he should be able to blast away. Or one could say his punch or blast feel like an entire solar system landing on you or some crap, you know. There's been a lot of discussions of where Tournament of Power Gohan was when it comes to Super Saiyan forms. One could say somewhere in between Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan God, or somewhere up there with God form. Maybe, who knows? All I know is Top is able to counter his attack. Somebody this strong, so tossed him so hard, kind of made him a little drowsy, tossing him in this Android 17. Ultimate Gohan did a charged up super blast known as the Kamehameha, of course, the famous attack. Used it against Top, and Top simply said, that ain't gonna cut it. Yeah, this dude's strong. Even smiled at him like, nah, bro, that didn't do it. Gohan looking worried. You know what I mean? But this is still a bare minimum. He literally calls a Super Saiyan 3 a waste of time. So this is nowhere near his limit either, even in his base form. Now, this is where we get into the nitty gritty stuff. Goku has to use Super Saiyan God form in the manga version, of course, to where his power is like the power of a God aura. So then Top says, let me get serious. The funny part is, even though Goku went into God form, Top still had him on the ropes. But this fight was a lot more interesting, I will admit. So if you thought deleting solar system stuff was impressive, let's talk about the God form that Top has to battle. The way the Dragon Ball world is built, it's a whole bunch of universe-sized structures in one universe. One could say a macrocosm. I pretty much have to bring this feat up in every video because this is one of the most flashiest feats he has in the entire series. It's time that Goku, when he was in his red form, it shows how hard these punches really are. They can shake the entire macrocosm or multiple universe-sized structures. Of course, you guys know it's the famous feat of him and Beerus clashing blows, putting the whole universe in jeopardy. There's shockwaves shaking the entire macrocosm, putting the entire universe in jeopardy. You're probably wondering, what does this have to do with Top? Well, because Top fought this same form of Goku that has this kind of punching power or strength. And as you can see, his punches can block attacks from him in this state, showing that he's on par or within that power range. This proves that Top being within that power range means he can shake an entire universe, multiple universe-sized structures, or shake the macrocosm too if he felt like it. So yeah, Top is nothing to be messed with. Okay, so you know how this form can shake multiple universe-sized structures like this, but he even has a greater form. known as Super Saiyan Blue, which is even a higher form of divine power. And despite this power-up being drastically bigger than the other one, Top seems to meet this challenge still in the manga version to show his powers up there with Super Saiyan Blue. This pretty much proves he's well beyond shaking the universe levels if the red form could do it, and he overpowered this blue form in the manga. Not to mention, this is Top's first form, and I already showed you earlier in the video he has another form. So at this point, shaking multiple universe-sized structures is just another day in the life for beings like Top in his base form. Dragon Ball Super events, manga and anime have slightly different retellings, but even in the anime version, it doesn't really matter. He's still Super Saiyan Blue tier. Matter of fact, in the anime, Goku actually has a multiply technique known as Kaioken that can multiply his already crazy Super Saiyan Blue 4 times 20 or times 10, depending on how he feels. This gives you perspective on how strong Top was. Goku felt like he had to multiply his Super Saiyan Blue times 10 or times 20 to even fight this guy, because apparently he was holding back even against Super Saiyan Blue, because Goku said, show me your real power. Like, this gives you some perspective. More evidence of it is when beings like Android 17 can fight Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and Top's blast power can win a beam struggle against a being that can compete or is competent against a Super Saiyan Blue tier. Like, he was literally pushing them back. And Top was in his base form, guys. When Android 17 decided to spam energy blast because he has infinite stamina, basically, Top can physically block these attacks without being damaged, really. Even trolls him saying, you think you can defeat me with this little level of power, despite how strong Android 17 is. You can see him getting entanglement with Android 17, blocking his attacks, keeping up with speed, and everything. Despite him being a Super Saiyan Blue centric god, Super Saiyan god level being, he does this to him. So his hits, punches, and strikes can do this type of stuff, and so can his blast power. Oh yeah, when it comes to Top, it's not just Goku he can match. Vegeta, who has the same forms as Goku, blue and red hair, divine type states, universe shaking punches, his punches can withstand these punches as well. So yeah, he's a consecutive Super Saiyan Blue-esque range tier being. And we're not even gonna get on his vice grip because he incorporates wrestling in his fighting, doing bear hugs to these level beings and causing them a serious discomfort, letting you know, Super Saiyan Blue tier. Despite Goku being in a form that's way higher than a form that can shake the macrocosm or shake the universe, shake multiple universes, Top can just straight up get hit by this same Goku in the face, anime version, and keep on fighting. And Top says, oh, okay, you're actually stronger than I thought, and gets ready for more. Manga or anime version, you see him taking kicks from Super Saiyan Blue tiers like Vegeta and has the strength to stack up to it. He even goes as far as saying, yes, Vegeta is on par with Son Goku, and yeah, he's still able to battle him. It's weird to say this, but I actually like Top better in the anime than the manga, because in the anime, he actually got a new visual changing form, known as his God of Destruction form, which I brought up a little bit earlier. Whatever he can do in this state, he can do better in this state naturally, right? It's even confirmed that even his normal attacks increase in raw power when he goes in his God of Destruction state. It's not him just getting new techniques. His statistics increase. I mean, not only did his physical statistics increase with this transformation, like the standard stuff increased, like his strength and speed and stuff, but also his aura, to where you can spam blast at him, and on contact, the blast literally incinerate because of destruction energy, that purple aura. Even if you try to get in every angle on him and spam energy like Android 17 did, all the blasts just incinerate on contact. Even focus blasts just incinerate on contact. You guys know of Golden Frieza, somebody in the past that can match Super Saiyan Blue's raw power output, strength, blast, and all that good stuff. This kind of proves that a base standard Super Saiyan Blue tier isn't going to cut it against God of Destruction Top, because the blasts just dissipate on him, incinerate just from touching him or getting near his aura around him. So you already know he has the Destroyer technique, Hakai blast. We've seen him overwhelm Frieza in his golden state where he was nervous, showing the destructive output. See, here's the thing. There's this dimension this tournament was going on in. It's a huge dimension, so the strong fighters can fight to their heart's content without having to worry about collateral damage. It's infinite going out this way, just an infinite size realm. And notice how you see the background look right here. One of Top's attacks was so mighty, just from the collateral of his attack, it kind of changed the whole background of this whole dimension. Or one could say affecting something that's infinite size or infinite size universe, Top affected with his blast. I mean, the collateral of his blast was so big, he pretty much changed the whole dimension's color, affecting something that's apparently infinite size, warping the dimension itself. Matter of fact, they even talk about it and how his blast affected the dimension. It was so crazy that Angels had to put a barrier around themselves to protect the stands. Like, you see the way the dimension looks here, then you can see it start distorting and warping. Bruh changed the sky of this whole dimension, bro. They even said, look at the sky. This is actually in narrative that they noticed that the environment changed, not just people that analyze these characters are reaching hard. This is literally in the narrative. Top did all this. This kind of stuff does kind of make sense with his lore, because you guys remember how it's taboo for two gods of destruction to fight. He's a god of destruction candidate. You remember these quotes. It's literally forbidden for two gods of destruction to fight because they will destroy the universe. Acts of destruction is forbidden, or they will risk destroying two universes. If this tournament place is a world place without time or space, filled with infinite nothingness, infinite size when it comes to distance, and Top's raw power was able to affect something that's infinite. I have no clue on how you calculate something that's infinite nothingness, but hey, Top affected it. It'd be different if the void had like stars and stuff, and you know, this gets a little wonky. Feats like this kind of back up the stuff I brought up earlier. In behind his base form, he can battle divine forms that can shake or cause the universe to go in jeopardy with their blasts and stuff. In his God of Destruction state, he should definitely be able to, one could say, blast apart or delete an entire universe if needed. I mean, if his base form can battle forms that can put the universe in jeopardy, what the heck do you think his transformation form that's mightier than anything he's ever did in his base, anything that form can do better? So what do you think he can do in this state? Top can do the same attacks he can do in his base form, but when he does them like this, it's on a whole nother level. Like his blast can break Android 17's shield, a being that can battle or compete with god forms too. This is something you don't see often, getting his shield broken. But Top in his God of Destruction state is just crazy. It's even stated, even his normal key blasts are unbelievably more powerful. So it's not just, he doesn't get a new transformation and get new techniques that are hacksy. No, his raw power output just increases in general. In his God of Destruction state, Top has to be at least in Super Saiyan Blue Evolution tier or Super Saiyan Blue Goku Kaioken times 20 tier, because they even notice, what is this massive energy? Even to their standards, they call this energy massive. If you're a little confused what I mean, okay, when it comes to the higher ends, we already know Top is above Super Saiyan God forms, right? In his base state. But you know, he has the Super Saiyan Blue state that's way higher than that. But then these are even higher because they're literally Super Saiyan Blues times 20. That's why I'm just trying to give you an idea of the ballpark he's in. Like, he's already strong as Super Saiyan Blues like this, but his God of Destruction form pushes him to these levels as well. Even Jiren says, okay, you ready to get serious when Top decides to power up like this. To add more fuel to the fire of his God of Destruction state, we've actually seen with our own eyes, despite them being 20 times stronger than a Super Saiyan Blue, Top can still do damage to these forms that are way stronger than Super Saiyan Blue. It just lets you know. This goes for his punches and blasts, because Vegeta's blasting everything he got here, and you see his God of Destruction energies clashing with it. You can see the difficulty in his face. Oh yeah, his blast actually overpowered Vegeta's Final Flash Super Beam, to where Vegeta said, oh shoot, my blast got incinerated. I gotta move out the way of this blast. But how strong do you think he is? We know he's way over universe destruction level, because we know God forms and Blue surpassed universe destruction by several times over, but we don't know the multipliers, but we just know they're over it by a wide margin, bare minimum 20 times over, 100 times over, based on the history of how this world works when it comes to the forms actually becoming obsolete the next arc over and stuff, and them getting new forms and stuff. Despite him having the power to easily wipe out multiple galaxies if you wished, he's not necessarily someone I would call on the tier of Goku when he achieves Ultra Instinct and stuff. I mean, he could be training off screen. He might be this level by now. Who knows how strong he's gotten over the time. But Vegeta and Goku's new forms of techniques, I wouldn't say he's up there with them yet. Even though he does have a similar form to Vegeta in his Ultra Ego state, though. But I don't think he's quite here yet. Maybe in the future, though. But what do you guys think? Do you think we'll see Top again? How strong do you think he's gotten since the Tournament of Power? He's very strong in the verse. But what do you guys think? Before I get going though, gotta give a quick thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps out a lot. Respect Top. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.